everyone. This is Elkie. Come on in, come on in. I'm just going to give it a minute to allow people to sign on because I know it takes a minute to jump on in, but I just wanted to make sure I was here right on time so that you can know we're going to start. So yeah, just come on in, sit for about 2 minutes, and then we'll get started. So take your time. I'm looking forward to tonight. It's just going to be me because my special guest that I'll have on next week will join me. So this is it's just going to be me tonight, but the topic should be a great one. I think you'll really enjoy it. So we'll just give it a few minutes. Close the door now. Okay, it's fine. Close the door now. It's not important. You need to leave and close the door now. It doesn't matter. You have pencils. Adrian. Right, come on in, come on in. We're gonna get just for those of you that are just joining, we're gonna get started in a few minutes. So just come on in, and I'll take my glasses off and put them on every now and then because I truly can't see. But my glasses are reflective, so it causes like lighting issues. So, and hopefully you can hear me well. Hopefully the broadcast you can see me clearly and all that good stuff. So we're right at the 2-minute mark. Thank you for joining. My name is Elkie Clinton. I am the CEO and founder of Savvy Moms Unite, where I teach moms how to live a practical, simple, realistic life. My goal is to help them achieve and receive the dream life that they always desired, and I'm particularly focused on single moms. And the reason I am is because I myself am a single mom, and I have been able to really push myself and get things that I never thought I imagined. And it was truly through my changing of my mindset around things, development, really looking at my life as a testimony to getting over challenges when you really feel like your world is coming apart. And one of my main challenges was finance, and why I speak on it so often. Finance was a major hurdle for me. As a single mom, you live with one income, and that one income doesn't suffice, especially even with families with two income are suffering. Imagine one person trying to make it. And I had one kid, so I was, blessed that I could only manage one at the time. But there's families who I know who is multiple kids, and the mom is trying to take care of all those kids by herself. And so I developed the company with the hope that I could provide resources, opportunity, tools to those moms who really just wanted to find a better way, especially since they couldn't receive any support outside of their home. I wanted them to know that they can really create the life, they can create income sources that are going to help them survive and thrive and build wealth. Because why not? Building wealth shouldn't just be for the 1%. It should be for anyone who can truly gather the resources together to do that. So I'm going to get into the topic for tonight. And the topic for tonight is getting past the broke mentality. And truly, what I will say is the broke mentality is not just for the poor. Many people would think, it's poor people who have that mentality. It's completely misunderstood. This mentality and this way of living is pretty common. So I'm going to read off some statistics that I just came upon. I love going off statistics because I think it makes things real and it makes people understand like it's much more common than we would think. So and this I got from a news. CBS News, and it was saying, so the title of the article is "Who Lives Paycheck to Paycheck? You Might Be Surprised." So basically, they talked about how they surveyed 3,000. They surveyed multiple full-time workers, those who were mid to high salary, and out of those workers they surveyed, they found that more than 3,200 full-time workers nationwide that participated in this survey were living paycheck to paycheck sometimes. And then it mentioned another 15% said they usually get by this way, like that's how they get by, and 23% said they always do it. So 15% said it's usually how they get by, so not all the time but usually, and 23% said that's what they always do, is they live paycheck to paycheck. And one of the reasons they said this is so common is because there's poor budget skills. We're not really taught what a proper way to budget is. It's not as widely known as we would think. Some people might think this is common knowledge. Oh, whatever. Like this is simple. Why don't people know it? You'd be surprised the amount of people that don't know it and don't know how to get out of that cycle. So it's not, and they're surveying people. They even have a statistic on people making over 100,000 and still living paycheck to paycheck. They're making over 100,000 and they're still trying to make ends meet and literally living until their next check comes in. So it doesn't matter. You could be making 20,000 to 100,000. If your mindset isn't right, you will struggle. So how do you get past these things? Well, first, let me show you what some of the signs are. One of them, of course, is living paycheck to paycheck. The other one is you see no opportunities but one income. That one income you feel is all you can survive on, and when in fact there are other ways you can survive. You can create other streams of income. People have to get that through their head. One income is not enough anymore. Two incomes are sometimes not enough anymore. You may have to consider multiple streams of income coming into the home to survive. So that one job that we used to think would keep us going, we're finding with rising costs in housing, rising costs in utilities, many things becoming so expensive. Even, our vehicles have become way more expensive. We have to consider other sources of living. And so how do you do that? Developing creative ways to bring income into the home, whether it's creating a side hustle, something where you're getting some income from a hobby you like, or some creative way to create a business. Something else needs to happen in that household, a second job. I don't like to suggest that, but in some cases that might be the best solution, is to take on another job to bring an income into the household if running a business is not something you want to do. Another way you can see where the broke mentality is coming in, when you certainly are making some choices and prioritizing certain things. So you probably like this. I know I've been like this, and I have friends who would be like, I'm so broke. I am so broke. Man, I am broke. It's almost fun to say I'm broke, right? And when in fact you're not, because you just saw them buy Beyonce tickets 2 weeks ago. So it's like, are you really broke, or you're just making choices? And that's how you have to see it. If you're really just making certain choices and you're not prioritizing, then you're probably not as broke as you think. You're just making poor choices. And that's the first thing you have to admit to yourself in helping eliminate that broke mentality, is that before you say you're broke, look at opportunities where you could save. Look at how you're spending money. That's one way to do it, is through tracking. You can track your spending and see where you're making choices that could be harmful to you. You might be making that daily coffee habit could be costing you. That those multiple entertainment packages might be costing you. Washing laundry more frequently than other times, meaning like 3 times a week, might be costing you. You know, how do you manage that throughout the week? Go, you know, your gas, if you're looking at, you know, alternate routes and making very strategic, um, you know, trips to the store. You're not going to the store 3 or 4 times a week. Once a week, you're making an effort to get all your groceries and going to the store once a week then. Um, or even when you go to the grocery store, having a list instead of walking in, you know, with nothing, and then you're in there, you could go and get whatever items because you don't have a real plan in place. So you're just putting stuff in the cart, like, oh yeah, I need this, I need that, and then you walk up to the register, you're like, oops, like I spent way more than I wanted to, and the embarrassment of putting all those items back causes you to still go ahead and make the purchase when you don't, you know, you don't need to. So just being mindful of your spending, understanding that you're not, I would say, if you checked your spending, more times you will find that there was ways you could have saved, but you have to do that first. Um, Another way you probably haven't thought of working with the broke mindset, but you've limited your possibilities. You've limited your you've limited the possibilities for yourself. You're not open to you're not open to looking at other jobs. Maybe your job isn't paying you well enough and you have to look at other opportunities. You'll stay in that job, make less money when you're qualified probably to make more, but because the comfortability of the job and the you know, the contentment with what you're doing won't allow you to move up and seek other opportunities for growth. You're just okay with being where you are. The level is here for you. The bar hasn't been set yet. And so when you're living in that manner, it doesn't matter. You can continue to, you will never see opportunities. You're not open. You're not allowing yourself to see, okay, not only can I make more money, but I can find ways to make more money. I can invest in myself to make more money. So it may mean, you know, if you're at a job where there might be a few professional development opportunities for you to do for free, because if you check some jobs do offer free PDs. Investing in that PD could allow you to go for that promotion. Or looking into classes online to develop some certain skills. Don't be so committed to just staying in that mindset of I can't do any better than this. And also just being mindful of the language you're using when it comes to money and what you do with it and how you invest it. If all you're talking about is your lack, you will only know your lack. When I talk about money now, it's more of the possibilities I have. I'm always talking about future and when I get this and when I have that. I no longer use the language of I don't have this right now. I can't get this right now. It's I will have this. That takes a long time to do. I still catch myself sometimes. I'll still say, oh my gosh, I said that again. Like, you know, I have to stop myself and say, oops, I said I was broke or I didn't have it. And once I start to, because here's what's going to happen. Once you start saying, I will, and you set a plan in place, you will make the necessary steps to get there because your brain will say, oh, that's possible. And then you will change your mode of operating. But if you don't do that, if you keep saying to yourself every day, I'm broke, I don't have it, I don't have the money, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, you've already trained your mind with can't. So you've already convinced yourself can't it's not like that's not going to work. So you won't work towards it. You'll keep shutting yourself down at every opportunity and you won't progress. So if you could really retrain your language, how you use it with others, like think about what the people around you are saying. Think about what you're saying to people. Think about, you know, how you're really your self-talk. We talk about that, how it's affecting and impacting the way you see your financial future. And this is not like I said, the broke mentality does not only apply to people who don't have it. There are people who are well off. There are people who have great sums of money and still operate this way. It's all about the way you see the world and how you see money coming in and out of your life. If you see it as it's just passing by, you can't hold on to it, you won't hold on to it. If you see it as I receive money in a way to do more, money works for me, I make money work for me, you will start to see a difference in how you operate around money. When you track your expenses, you will start to learn your behaviors, because there are certain behaviors that go unnoticed. So when you start tracking the way you spend, you're like, ooh, I got a bad habit with shoes, or I got a bad habit with purses, or I got sometimes even going crazy on books. Like, you could probably find ways to save on books, maybe borrowing a book from a library instead of having to purchase it if it's just going to sit in your house and you're never going to read it again. And making coffee at home, saving money on that, saving money when you go out. You know, make a brew of coffee at home instead of purchasing a cup every day. I'm not saying give up your habit, because I'm sure not going to do it, but it doesn't need to be an everyday thing, right? So yeah, so let's run down again. So signs that you might have the broke mentality. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Your language around money is that you're broke all the time. You don't have a sense of how you spend. You're just spending. You don't really care or know. You're not open to possibilities. You're not open to possibilities to accumulate more money and bring in more into your life. You are okay or stuck in a particular position and you don't want to move forward. And when you operate in that manner, it allows you to remain completely imprisoned by your situation. And it's very common, as I said before, many Americans are experiencing this. You're not alone. And there's ways to get around it. You just have to really be disciplined with it. And that's truly through budgeting. Budgeting has proven that it works. It works if you work it. Budgeting has made a difference in many people's lives. It's how people have paid off debt. It's how people have saved tons of money. We see families of 5 surviving on $45,000. How are they doing that when a family of 2 can't survive on that? You got to wonder, how are they doing that? If a family can survive a 5 or 45,000 and a family of 2 can't, you got to wonder what's going on in both homes. There's some decisions that are being made in one home that's allowing them to see possibilities versus the other, right? So we have to consider why it's important we don't live in lack, and we don't stop ourselves from seeing the possibilities. I'll give you a quick story about me and my realization that I was living a broke mentality. In college, money was very, very hard to come by. I really understood what being broke was. I was really on my own to figure out how to pay for things. And so it was always a struggle, I felt, to get money. As much as I worked, I still could only get so much. And as I became an adult, I operated in that way. Whatever job I had, it was like I was always trying to catch up. I could never be on top of things. But it really hit me when I was, just recently, the job that I was in, I made the most money that I'd ever made in my career. I was doing pretty well. And I was still broke. I remember the first 2 years of me working there, I was still at one point living paycheck to paycheck, and then was back to like being below a certain amount in my account. And then at one point I even overdraft my account. And I was like, whoa, wait a second, what's going on? I'm making good money. Why am I back at the same place I was when I was truly struggling? When I was in college working 3 work-study jobs and making $300 a month. What's going on with me? I'm making well over $3,000 a month or more. So what is happening? And what I've discovered was my spending habits was what was messing me up. Spending habits that I carried over from years. Like I'm talking 15 years of just bad, poor mindset spending allowed me to get to the point where I was making a significant amount and still broke. So once I fixed my mindset, I saw not only could I live off what I had, I could put away money. I was starting to put away money. I was starting to save money. I started to see a huge difference in my mindset around money. I started reading more. I definitely was encouraging others around me about money. I started talking about it more because I was so afraid to talk about money because I was so bad with it. And now I talk about it more because I feel like we don't really have conversations that are fruitful when it comes to money. It's either we're talking about how broke we are, or we're talking about how much access we have to money and how rich we are. There's no in between. And so I wanted to be the in between. I'm definitely not, I'm not at a place where I can say like I'm poor. No, not by any means. And I'm definitely not at the, I'm balling. No, I'm in the in between. And for those people, which is the average American in the in between, we still need to work on our language and work around our issues when it comes to money. So I will stop there. I thank you so much for coming on to the broadcast. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate your effort to be good with your money and learn great tips. You can follow me on various social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Periscope as Savvy Mom Elke. I also have a website called www.savvymomsunite.com, which is the name of the company that I run. That's where you can find out more information on the company and the products and services I offer. I'm also the creator of the Get Your Money Life course, which is available through my website. You can take that course. It's 4 classes dedicated to dealing with money mindset, budgeting, savings, and attacking your debt. These are all ways that you can really see building wealth, because they're all based on wealth principles. So take advantage of the course. It's available through the site. I look forward to next week. Next week, we're going to discuss the lottery winner syndrome. And I will have my special guest here with me next week, so we can talk about that and how to eliminate that from your mindset. So thanks again. I really appreciate your time. I look forward to having you on next week, and God bless.